Kia ora. This is Mark, your friendly neighbourhood GM from Aotearoa, New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud. We're rushing up towards New Year as I record this. It's been a good year, 2019, in lots of ways. Hope it has been for you. Anyway, on with our story. Marzal, the high priest of Erathis, is trying to draw the party down into the depths below the temple in the city of Portree. I don't think they're going to have a bar of it, but I've been wrong before, and I expect I will be again very soon. Onward. All right then. So I shall leave Discord behind now and go back to Roll20 and action. Marzal leaves you so that you can talk some more. He has heard your conversation and he is respecting your decisions, although you can see that the way things are going are not to his true liking. He accepts the fact that Takata's view of things are pretty well formed. Before he gets to the door, though, something blows up in his face, and right in front of the door, another portal opens up. This one, a blue one, and quite different to the one that he had used to invite you down to the shrine that he referred to. And Marzal immediately drops to the ground and puts his hands over his head. And so the classic thing to now say is roll initiative. And I would get you to do that, but we've already done it, haven't we? So I shall put the initiative up again. And so with Marzal already having responded, what does Grekel do?
Grekel sees that Marzal, he's crouched down with his hands over his head, did you say?
Basically, yeah. He's obviously expecting something bad to happen, and his immediate reaction when this portal literally blows into this gold-walled room is to drop to his knees, crouch down, and cover his head.
Grekel will actually, so Grekel is about 10 feet away, 15 feet away?
Yeah, he's the closest to Marzal, yes.
He's actually going to try to rush forward, grab a hold of the high priest, and pull him back.
All right, well, rush forward then. Indeed, you do. You're able to do that, certainly. This is all happening at the same time. So we're in initiative order, but in classic Dungeons and Dragons mode, we have to be like the Electron and be in two places at once or in two times at once, acting in order and acting simultaneously. So Grekel rushes forward to Marzal. That's only going to take 10 feet of his movement. Marzal doesn't resist. He looks up at Grekel, sees that Grekel is trying to pull him away, and Marzal pushes up to go wherever Grekel wants to go to next.
I'm just going to pull him straight on back away from the portal. So as much back as I can kind of drag him. If he helps me, that's great.
Right, which side of the marble block with the statue do you want to go? Do you want to go where Takata is or where Silver is?
Probably maybe towards Silver, kind of maybe on an angle a little bit to the bottom here.
Grekel pulls Marzal. It's not just a pull because Marzal is responding. You get the portal is pulsing with blue energy, and even someone with a Arcana modifier of -5 would tell it was magical. Next in the order, we've got Takata.
Takata backpedals 15 feet and will his hands will crackle with contained energy as he prepares an Eldritch Blast.
Okay, Epo and Greg.
Epo says to Greg, protect the priest while he does priest things. Heal anyone who gets damaged. And Greg goes in front and Epo prepares to shoot a crossbow bolt at anything that comes through.
Sure. Well, I've already taken Marzal's turn, but let's say he reacted on he's going to get another turn now before Silver. Marzal, I thought I'd get help from Columbinius, he coughs. And then you feel his muscles tense, and he looks beyond Grekel, and he says some words, and he moves his fingers in and out, left and right, and you've seen him do this before, and he conjures his portal. So now there are 2 portals in the room. His one is perhaps, I don't know, 40 feet away from the other one, and he calls out, "I can keep you safe down there." And now it's Silver's turn.
I'm going to see the first portal that appeared, and Silver's going to look up, walk to the side where he can see the portal clearly, and go, another one of these magic type things? Simple. And snap his fingers and use Dispel Magic.
So you may roll.
It doesn't require a roll, it just
Depends on the
dispels
level of
it.
the spell.
Depends on the level,
Yes.
so you don't need a roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. If it's higher than 3rd level, you need to roll. So you need to hit with your modifier. I guess, what's your modifier?
Charisma. Is there a bard?
It's a charisma modifier, and it's +6.
+6. So you've rolled 16, and you've got 6 on top of that is 22. So you've beaten the 10 by 12. So I think you would have spelled a level 15 spell if it existed.
I think he's adding his proficiency to that.
Okay, what's your spell casting?
My proficiency is a 3.
But what is your charisma modifier?
3.
Okay, so you add +3 to that, so it's 19.
Yeah. It is a
Either way.
very effective roll. I mean, the only thing it is not going to dispel is something above level 9. And it, from your point of view, doesn't it? That portal disappears.
That was my spell attack bonus. Sorry.
What does Silver make of that?
Not so scary with that portal gone now, is it?
Or what does everyone else make of what Silver's done?
Well, Greco looks down at the high priest and says, what is that? You didn't make that.
Seems like he was expecting it, though. As I look directly at him, staring daggers.
You can do an insight check on him, might as well, as you've made that accusation.
19.
Hard to tell. I know you got a 19, but it's hard to tell. Hard to tell. He looks flustered. He does look flustered, but what that flustered is it because you've caught him out, or is it because he's worried? Well, the next thing that happens at the top of the next round is the blue portal flashes back into place. Grekel's turn again.
By the way, Mike, the reason I said that is because the remark that he made with Combini is helping him or something.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like you doing that. I mean, if I throw something in there, it's fantastic when it's picked up upon. So often you cast bread upon the waters and the fish ignore it. And you have to
I'm just making sure you don't
worms
think
next
I've been
time.
metagaming.
I'd rather give you. No, I don't think you're metagaming at all. You heard it, and that's fine. I think Evo is pretty intelligent. I'd expect him to pick that up. So let's see what that remark may have meant in a moment.
Greco removes his bow and knocks an arrow. He's going to take a step back, maybe 2 steps back, so that he's not blocking Takada.
Take cover behind the pillar, maybe?
Well, he's just going to move here, and he's going to train his arrow on the portal. And if anything bad comes out, he's going to shoot it. So he's holding his action.
There are 2 portals now. Grekel is aiming his bow at the blue portal, the one that Silver dispelled and then came back. So Marzal's portal is not under Grekel arrow threat, is it?
No, it is not.
No, you can see it's not perspiring, and neither is, Marzal probably is. So is that good for Grekel?
That's good right now for Grekel.
All right, then. So Grekel Grom is set for action. Tarkata has been holding an Eldritch Blast, which is a great thing to hold, because if you've been holding a spell that cost a slot, you would have lost it. Of course, this being a cantrip is no problem to you at all. Are you going to carry on holding, or does Takata and his imp want to do anything else? The invisible imp.
Uh,
I know I'm not supposed to know that the imp is there, but I can see its blue halo.
Takada will instead hold a dash action.
Okay, hold on. And what's the imp going to do?
The imp will dash.
Okay. Where's the imp dashing to?
It will dash. Let's see how far it can go. Okay, it will dash its 80 feet. It'll dash 50 feet right next to the portal.
Oh, you're so tempting me to go. That's not true, yeah.
Don't mind me, just gonna back it up into this corner.
Where it is bathed in golden light, except that no one can see the light bending as it goes round the form of the imp, invisible as it is. Now I've got to think about photons and what happens to them. Anyway, Epo and Greg.
Greg's just gonna ready in action to if anything comes at it, like anything that he's not familiar with comes at him, he's going to attack it. He's going to move behind the high priest and just throw a bag of caltrops right in front of the portal.
Okay, so Marzal casts a spell now. If you've finished, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, Marzal casts, he tells you what he's casting, and what he's casting is the bless spell.
Okay.
He casts the bless spell on Silver, Greg, and Epo.
Probably would have been better on Gretel.
He may have his reasons. You're the ones who are close by him. Maybe he just wants the protection, or he values your close human companion, not just human, in fact. I think Epo's the only one who is human. I've just been listening to a podcast, an account of Nelson dying at the Battle of Trafalgar, and at the end when he needed this human touch from the captain, his captain Hardy, and he said, "Kiss me, Hardy." And so that made me think of that with Marzal now. I think maybe he's saying he's doing the last rites. Anyway, he casts a bless on you. He says, "This way," and he moves over to his portal.
I'll take an opportunity. I'm kidding.
I want you to.
Stop him. We're not going. Stop him.
If anyone wants to try and grab him, you could take that sort of opportunity.
When I moved over to him, I was going to put my hand on his shoulder, but I don't think I forgot to specify that. But if I forgot, I forgot.
I'm not going to be that harsh in these situations. You're close enough, the two of you, plus Greg and Blizzard for that matter. If you do want to try and stop him, you could do. You're cool.
I'm just going to say we're staying here.
He looks Epo in the eyes and he says, "I'm not." So I think it's Silver's turn now.
What are you afraid of? That could come out of there.
He answers Silver very quickly and he says, "Any power that can put that thing in the Temple of Erathis, I am scared of." How you dispelled it, I do not know. And he stops.
It's cutting out there, Mark.
And he says, "It's back. It's back. Dispel it again." And it's Silver's turn.
Such a brave high priest. That's what Epo says.
Yeah.
Such bravery.
He may deserve it. He may absolutely deserve it. But it's Silver's turn.
Silver's just going to look at the high priest and then prepare a dispel magic for if he sees something start walking out of it. Just to cut it off at the moment.
Which one, the high priest portal or this one?
The blue one.
Okay. The blue portal. All right then. So Silver's
might as well try to cut something in half.
Silver sees 4 creatures coming through the blue portal now.
He said he's going to cut it off midway through, so he's going to try
midway one of them.
So you see 4 coming through at the same time. Are you going to wait to try and recognize what they are, or are you going to absolutely hammer that dispel magic?
As soon as one of their heads pop out, I'm doing dispel magic.
Right, so you don't really get the chance to see what they are. You just see something that looks like a head coming through, and you throw that dispel magic. Roll again. You got a 3 this time.
Damn it!
And you do not dispel.
They all need to make a dex saving throw.
Okay, so they are smoky, ethereal forms without legs. They are black and white. They have hooked hands. You can't see a face. You can see ragged clothing over. It's like a cloak with a hood. They reek of necromantic magic. You want me to make dex saves for all of them, don't you?
And if you would say the caltrops would affect them.
These things float. The caltrops do not stop them. So they have come through the portal and they move forward.
Well, the first one that came through, I would have shot it.
Okay, so you tell me whether you want left or right or one of the middle two, because they all came out really at the same time. So you can choose.
We'll just go kind of that top middle
Okay,
one.
I saw where you go. So if I'm lining them up 1, 2, 3, 4, I think you're going for number 2. Yeah. Okay, so you can roll to hit number 2.
Okay. That's a longbow.
Yeah, 22
That was a
roll.
22.
That arrow strikes it true
And-
in the center of the chest.
Right. So that is 8 points of piercing. I want to tell you, my internet is going a little bit crazy, and so everybody's like fading in and out. I'm not sure if my voice is doing that or not.
Yeah, you are now
So
somebody, but that's okay. We'll cope.
yeah, sorry. That's my internet connection going on right now.
It's amazing you can do this from Vietnam, so I'm not going to criticize one little bit.
Well, with that shot, I'm also going to make it a bursting arrow damage. And so let's see if I can get that to pop up. And
Banishing
so I'm
arrow.
using my
You imbue
and so-
your arrow with force energy. Yep. So is the whole of your damage magical damage?
yes. When I decide to use my arcane shots, it is considered a magical arrow, and then the bursting portion of it. So the arrow will go out, flash a blue arcane light, and basically explode, sending shrapnel, also arcane energy, out in a 10-foot radius.
So it is going to get all 4 of these shadows, yeah? Because everyone is within 10 feet. So you've rolled your 2d6 for your radiant damage. So the center one takes 9 magical piercing damage, and then it takes 8 radiant damage. And it does a passable impersonation of Takata's imp. And it just dissipates, and there is no trace left of it. The other 3 are all going to take 8 points of radiant damage.
Wonderful.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon they're vulnerable to radiant damage?
Vulnerable to at least magical damage.
They are vulnerable to radiant damage. So your 8 turns in for them to 16 points of radiant damage, and they have 16 hit points each, which means that Grekel, with one shot with his bursting arrow, has taken out all 4 of them. I think you're all allowed to give him some congratulations.
Greco looks over at everybody else and just kind of shrugs and smiles. That's easy.
That's an interesting effect of this room.
So we're not finished, because out of Marzal's portal appears the priest who died in the arena at the slave market when the Rod of Obeisance was seized and destroyed. Columbinius, the pretty boy elf. And he appears out of Marzal's portal, and he takes Marzal by the arm and he says, "Father, come now." And he takes him through the portal. So I think we're back with Grekel, actually, even because you were a held action. So it sounds really strange having just fired that off, but it's Grekel's turn again.
Yeah, Greco, keeping an eye on the blue portal where the shadows had come out. He's going to walk towards the other portal that Columbinius and Marzal just went in, because he's a little unsure about what's going to happen, but he's just going to kind of move behind the idol, past Takeda, and kind of near the other portal. And he's going to try to keep an eye on both.
Don't trust him. I wouldn't trust him if I was you.
I don't trust him. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
We've had Grekel, and now we're back to Takata and the imp. I guess the invisible imp is going to hold its position.
The imp holds its position and holds a dash action. Takata holds Eldritch Blast.
All right, so Epo with his caltrops on the floor. I can see that unless your other character, Ragnar, would have believed that his caltrops had got rid of all the goblins, despite what Grekel did. But how about Epo and Greg then? You.
Just gonna tell Greg, protect me. So Greg comes with me and I go towards one of the walls. I just said compensation is compensation as I start chipping away the gold.
You start taking off flakes of gold plate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly what you're doing. And I think anyone who's been listening to the antics of Epo or the epic of Epo would expect that to happen. Right then, so Marzal is gone, so I skip past his turn. And Silver, what's he going to do? He's used 2 third-level spell slots with his Dispel. How many third-level spell slots has he got left? I think they're probably gone, aren't they?
He's out.
Yeah, and that portal is still there, so Silver is going to have to change tack. I know that he's a nautical man, a naval man, so I think that's a good expression to use.
Silver's gonna take out a piece of jerky, and then hold an action to use Shatter, which essentially is throw the jerky at the portal.
Okay, so he throws the jerky at the portal. Go on, throw that shatter spell up.
He's gonna hold his action.
Oh, he's going to hold it. All right, then. That is the bottom of that round. At the top of the next round, more things start coming out the portal. Are you going to throw as soon as you see something?
As soon as I see at least 2 things come out of the portal, the Shatter's gonna go off.
I think we need to look at your caltrops this time, Hugh. They spread out in a 5-foot area. Can you draw a 5-foot area on that screen for me so I know where they are? Please.
It would just be here.
I know where they are. So coming out the portal, you see, again, at the same time, and Silver will know where those caltrops are. 1, 2, he's on the caltrops. 3, 4, large skeletons carrying halberds, dressed in heavy plate armor.
The one that stepped on the caltrops needs to make a DC 15 deck save.
Yeah, indeed. And I would not like to hold you up. Get rid of my shadow card, and I will bring out my skeleton card. And the DC 15 save from that skeleton is coming now.
So you take 1 damage, and he can no longer move for the rest of his turn, and subsequent turns until he kills or pulls it out. He has 10 reduced movement.
Okay, I'm going to point out to you, and I'm not going to make a rule on it yet, but I am going to point out to you that he does not have flesh.
He's still got a caltrop sticking through his bone.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just going to tell you that is quite likely to have an impact on the situation, if not on him. So those caltrops are not magical, and they do piercing damage.
It's only 1 point, yeah.
And I will tell you, I'll stop beating about the bush. He has immunity to piercing damage that is non-magical.
He still can't move for the rest of the turn, though.
Okay, fair enough. He can't move for the rest of this turn, but he hasn't taken any damage. The others, as they come through, first of all, Silver, let's do what you're going to do.
Silver is going to hold up the jerky and then say, "Here, have some frozen beef," and then throw the jerky. And as soon as it lands lands right in front of them, it will shatter at the same time erupting with the spell Shatter.
Now, are you throwing this at them, or are you throwing it at the portal?
Portal. Like landing right either in between or near the portal, whichever I can probably throw at from where I'm at.
Piece of jerky, I imagine you can throw it pretty far.
Since it is a 10-foot radius spear. So now they need to do a DC 14 Constitution save.
And luckily the imp is not in it.
This time. Oh no, sorry. Let me make it closer to the imp. I'm kidding.
You guys are just asking for Takeda to have a vendetta against you guys.
We have no idea that the imp's there.
Yeah.
I know.
Is Mark there?
He's probably doing some rolls.
Mark, you're muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Discord does that to me. I'm glad you told me quickly, because I have spent 10 minutes not knowing I've been muted in several different games. So what I was saying, lots and lots of different things, so I'm glad you filled in for me. I want you to do a dexterity check to see if that jerky goes where you want it to, or if you jerk in the wrong direction.
Check, right?
Yeah, dexterity check, because it's not happening to you, it's something you're trying to do, so that's why I see it as a check.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear the pun.
I didn't think you did, and I'm going to pretend you didn't as well, but I'm glad you noticed. Right.
I rolled a 9. My luck is going fantastic today.
All right, roll me any dice you like, so it's left or right.
And he throws it on the imp.
Oh,
Even
He throws it through the
right,
portal.
odds are going to the left. So roll me a dice, Raymond. Any dice, D4, 5, 6. No, not 5. Even numbered dice. 3. So it's gone to the left. It is not a horrible shot, that 9. What happens is you just catch the 2 skeletons over here. Okay, so their DC 14 Constitution saves coming up. One of them is the one who's been caltropped. He's having a hard time. He wants to go back home through that portal. Right, the one who hasn't been caltropped first, and then the other one. The caltropped one saves, and he takes 5 points of thunder damage. That's all he takes. The other one doesn't save. He rolled a ridiculous 5, and he won't get paid. What do you reckon skeletons get paid in?
Souls.
Souls, okay.
Oh, no, I'll tell you, they do not get paid in souls. They get
No,
souls
you know
taken
that.
away from them.
That's right. We'll have a philosophical existentialist debate on skeletons and what really motivates them later on. But in this
Is
in this
bone
game,
organic? Is their bone organic?
well, you don't know for sure.
Because if it's not organic, if it's inorganic, they have disadvantage.
Well, all right, then you will see in a moment whether they have disadvantage, perhaps, or where maybe you wouldn't. But it's a good point to make, and I'm just being playful with it rather than anything else. So 2 of them have been caught by the jerky, and they look at Silver and really identify him in pretty much the same way that they see the thing he threw at them. These 2, because your throw was a 9, you missed them. You didn't get them. It strayed off in this direction, but not so far as to get that invisible imp. Now, I could easily lose track of what's happening here because that was a held action. They have come through. This one here that I'm going to put a mark on, a pink dot, is there for, I guess, some sort of cancer awareness with his pink dot. That would be a ribbon. He's the one who's been caltropped. The others have still got movement left. They come through the portal. They don't know what's coming
I'd
through.
like to use my held action and
Yeah,
fire an
that's what.
Eldritch Blast off at the one that's already been hurt that isn't prone.
He's not actually prone. He's just struggling with the caltrop. So you want to go to the one on the far left, nearest to your imp, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
I will put a green dot on him so you know he's the hurt one. Right then, roll to hit him. He's a big dude. These skeletons are taller than the average person.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay, so how much? What are you doing to him with your force damage? How much?
6 damage.
I hope you could hear the love I was giving him in my voice.
Important
Right, 6
question.
force
How
damage.
How in this world are undead viewed? Like this kind of undead? Are they
Ah,
kind
it's
of viewed as mindless at this point? Kind of just mindless zombies, kind of?
It depends on how sophisticated they are. To be honest, you can have some that are sentient and some that aren't.
Skeletons are semi-sentient. They don't really have any, like, intact, but they can do basic commands. Zombies are completely mindless.
I tell you what I think is that anything like that, if you animate the dead, that's true. But you're high enough level, you've got high enough magic, you've got innate abilities. That's the plane you come from. There could be different classes of skeletons, just like there are different classes of humanoids.
Yeah.
Gotta decide if you
What
want to
vibe
kill
does
the
Tom get
muscle.
from these guys?
I mean, normally you would think if it's low level stuff, they're going to be unthinking, mindless, whatever. But that portal looks pretty high level. That was Marzal's reaction. Yeah, but you haven't killed it anyway. You've done 6 points of damage to it. It's vulnerable to radiant damage, but not force damage. But it does take the full 6 points. Do they
I'll
take damage from
fire
heat? I think Silver's question, Raymond's question, do they take damage from healing spells? I just want you to find out.
I'll fire off the second Eldritch Blast at the same target.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't.
15 is good enough to
Okay.
hit it. 15 is good enough to hit it, and you give that one another crack. It does not yet look.
I somehow rolled twice. It's meant to be the 21.
All right, okay, I'll go back to that. I don't know how you rolled twice, so I will give it another 3 points of damage. And I can't tell you that it looks bloodied, but I can tell you that it's just beginning
It's
to look.
supposed to be 6 damage.
Does it have cracks in it?
It just begins to look boned. Yeah, it's got cracks cracks in it. So green skeleton has got cracks in it. Does that mean I can finally give the other two them their movement?
Yep.
3 of them get movement.
Yeah, not pink. Pink doesn't. So green, who's been whacked by the force, he is stopped in his tracks a little bit, and then he comes forward. But he doesn't get that much movement. The other two take stock of the situation. They move up towards Greg, but they are about 10 foot away from Greg. The one that Takata just blasted had also been hit by the shatter spell. He's closest to Silver and Blizzard now. So after the two of them, well, I don't have to worry about Columbinius because he went down into that other portal with Marzal. So we're back with Grekel.
Grekel's seeing them move forward and kind of spreading out. He's going to move over here, just 5 feet, so that he can have a good shot at the one that Takada had blasted before. And he's going to take he's going to try a sharpshooter shot at this one.
So you're taking a -5 penalty on your roll to hit, yeah?
That's correct. That's 11, unfortunately.
Okay, so you missed him. You definitely missed him. But if you draw a line straight through that skeleton from Greg towards the wall, what is there in that vicinity that you can't see?
It's Takada's imp.
Roll me a d20 and let's see if you can roll a 1.
Whew, that's a 3.
3. The arrow just flies slightly under the imp. I would have given the imp a dexterity save, Sol.
Yeah.
And I only made it a 1 in 20 chance because I know that the imp is not a big target and it's in the air and so on, but I'm so itching to make that sound. So Grekel misses. Anything else from Grekel?
Grekel's actually going to move up a little bit. He's going to move next to Blizzard, so he's going to move up 10 feet. So he's standing between Blizzard and the idol.
Okay, so
and he'll actually say to the skeleton that is moving forward towards Takada. He's going to say, "Over here, big ugly. Come on."
Wasting your breath.
Waves him on over.
But just calls out wasting your breath as he's still chipping away the gold.
Okay, so before it's Takada's turn, you do hear through the wall where the blue portal is that these skeletons and the shadows came through. You can just about hear an alarm ringing. Okay, Takada's turn.
Takada looks very keenly at the portal. Does he get a feeling that it's from a portal to another realm?
Yep. It's not often I give you such a plain, uncluttered answer, but yep.
Takada orders his imp to move 20 feet forward. It dives into the portal. He goes into his senses. I assume he cannot see through it.
Can you see through magical darkness?
Yes.
If it's another plane, he can't contact his imp.
Yeah, he can't, but I'm doing a thing.
Okay, no, I won't tell you anything now. You tell me when I need to tell you stuff, but I need to just ask whether the imp could see through magical darkness, which I thought it could do. So do you want to do anything else this turn?
Yeah, Takada gives him specific orders, so it dives into the portal, takes, it will spend the rest of its turn to take a good look around if it has to, but then it's ordered to come right back out of the portal. Okay.
So it goes in. How long do you want it to spend in the portal?
Whatever it takes to get like a decent look at what's on the other
so
side.
Let's say it hasn't come back this round, okay?
Okay.
So I think I can go to Epo now, Epo and Greg.
I think you mean just Greg, because Epo's still chipping away at the wall.
Yeah, just wanted you to say that, because I think Epo is chipping away, so his perception rolls would be at disadvantage at the moment, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. So Greg just instantly leaps on this one.
All right, fine. Okay, so Greg attacks the skeleton. Roll to... Let's see what it does as the big Greg leaps on the big skeleton. There's a clash of metal and bone. 26 to bite. Right, you bite that skeleton.
And 5 points of damage.
Give the lion a bone.
Piercing damage, but I don't imagine it does anything.
No, his teeth clash on it. It does do something, actually.
I don't think it's magical.
He just clamps on it and inconveniences it a bit. Do you want him to let go, or do you want him to hold on with his bite?
I want him to hold on.
All right. So if you want, because it's a successful bite and you're not doing any damage, I'm going to give you for free a grapple roll.
Okay, what do I need to make for that?
It's athletics. And if Greg doesn't have athletics, which he probably doesn't,
Natural 20.
Well, I mean, I almost can't be bothered to contest that, but that would be so slack and lazy of me. The big skeleton does. Will he roll a natural 20? No, definitely not. So this skeleton with the I'll give him a yellow dot. He is at the moment grappled by Greg. Okay, so Greg and Epo have been, and Marzal is down below. What's Silver doing?
First off, I got a question. When my shatter went off, did it go off near the wall? Did it hit the wall?
Yes, it did.
So is there chunks of the wall broken apart because of it?
Well, I'm telling you that what I'll say is you can't really see because of the portal. It went off near the wall. You didn't hear the masonry. You didn't hear that. So essentially, the portal took the blast. Think of the portal as wall armor.
Okay. Someone's going to do the same thing except to the two that are fighting Greg.
Okay. So can you confidently miss Greg?
No, but that's a chance he's willing to take since he doesn't know them. He doesn't know Greg yet.
So what's our save? So I can't remember from last time. It's Constitution. What is it?
Constitution. DC 14.
I make it.
Just made it, and damn it!
Oh.
Two natural 20s in a row. Oh my god.
Is it half damage or no damage?
I think it would be so vanilla to say half damage. It turns out that these two skeletons are special skeletons. You have come across the Thunder Invulnerable skeleton because I refused to be vanilla about it. Greg made his save as well, so did he take half damage?
Yeah.
Well,
So
actually,
Greg
it would have been like right here where I'm pointing. So.
All right. Well, that was why I was asking you. I thought you might be able to avoid Greg, but you seem with some alacrity to want to catch him in it.
No, it's because if he's grabbing
Unless you're ready to pay compensation.
No, I'm going to be tough here. You called it. Hugh rolled the save. I'm giving Greg 8 points of thunder damage. I just want Epo to have to do some repair work. He can sort of repair Greg to be a more golden color if he gets out this alive. How's that?
Epo just shoots his head back at Silver and says, "That's gonna cost you." And goes back to what he's doing.
Look.
Okay, so is it my turn now?
First,
Yes.
How is the wall looking? How is the wall looking?
You mean over here? Yeah, I imagine you shot some bits off that.
Oh, there's a whole lot of gold plate behind the Thunder Boys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's your compensation.
I mean, could probably sneak past them, grab it, and while they're fighting Greg, while they're destroying Greg, he could take enough gold plate to make a very small, weak version of Greg. All right,
This is going to magical components.
The Thunder Boys now. Sorry, say again.
This is going to item crafting components.
Okay, the Thunder Boys are now going to attack Greg. Yeah, the non-grappled one moves round and he gives Greg the biggest clout that he can manage with his halberd, and in fact, he does it twice.
First one misses, second one hits.
Second one he crits with, but he did roll 2 1s on the first one. Hugh.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so he hits Greg with the second one. It's a crit so that is 16 points of damage. But he gets carried away with his first swing, and the second swing is so massive it goes through Greg. He careers past Greg, giving Greg an opportunity attack, and his halberd embeds in the wall.
Greg doesn't do any damage to these guys anyway.
Because it's not magical damage, is that right?
Yep.
So Greg only takes damage from magic, is that true?
Greg takes damage from everything. It's just Greg doesn't deal any damage to them because he only does non-magical damage.
Oh, sorry, I was just checking. Okay, so I was just living it up, thinking of this skeleton having gone charging past Greg and embedding his halberd in the wall where he's standing shoulder to shoulder with Epo now. Epo is chipping out gold plate and the skeleton has got his halberd stuck.
As he does that, Epo just brings out his hand and just starts collecting all the bits that the skeleton knocked out. Thank you, Mr. Skeleton, as he pats him on the back.
Okay, the second skeleton loses its flanking advantage now. It doesn't manage to attack with advantage. What did we say in this game, by the way? Because different games, different rules, because it's an optional thing. Did we say +2?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll remember that next time. But the Thunder Boys are good at attacking with advantage as it happens. But this one is just attacking twice normally with his halberd. In and out again. So 23 and a 25. I think they're both going to hit.
Greg goes down.
Greg goes down.
Greg just kind of deactivates a bit.
Greg deactivates and topples over. Okay, so back at the portal after that. Well, not at the portal. We've got the Caltrops guy at the portal. He is able to move now or not?
Yes, but he has reduced movement speed by 10 feet.
10 feet. So instead of
He's got a bone spur.
Yeah.
He's got a limp.
I think that's a fair way to put it. He's just got an extra bit of skeletal foot. I mean, it's like him being created with 7 toes instead of 5 on 1 foot, I think. So instead of having his 30 feet of movement, he loses 10. He's got 20 feet of movement, and he comes over to Silver, and he attacks Silver.
Bring it, bud.
Okay, well, he will. You've asked him to, and he takes 2 swings at you. His swings are no worse than a 23 and a 17. Does the 17 hit you? Because I'm sure the 23 will.
Yeah, both hit.
Both hits. That is 25 points of... I know it says bludgeoning on your screen, but really it is piercing damage. I could be bothered to change the card, I would do, but I might do for the future. He's just slashed you, smashed you, stabbed you with his halberd for 25 points of damage.
Oh look, I'm immune to piercing damage because of my dragon scales. I'm kidding.
I so wanted to believe you.
One day.
One day. All right, so I've still got Mr. Green Dot left, haven't I? Mr. Green Dot is not impeded by Caltrops. He comes to Tarkata, and he takes 2 swings at Tarkata with his halberd. His slashing, piercing, bludgeoning halberd. 1, 2. He's a big, nasty dude. What hits Takata? Because I've got a 16 and a 15.
Both hit.
Yeah, I thought they would do. I didn't imagine you having a higher armor class than 15. And just as the other did 25 to Silver, Takata gets 24 point damage.
Oh, so great.
I can imagine that our mysterious Mr. Morales is not looking very well.
He's totally, very much a bloody, squishy warlock.
Yeah, I think these skeletons make a bit of a mess, don't they? And just to make things a little bit worse from your point of view, coming out of the portal now are 2 other creatures.
Retreat!
They look humanoid. Definitely, they're wearing black. I guess Roman Catholic. They look like cardinals on a bad day when the white smoke won't come
Do any
out.
of them step into the Caltrops? They wouldn't know the Caltrops are there, so they wouldn't know to avoid it.
But they come out where they come out, and that's where they've come out. They've missed the Caltrops. Maybe their perception is very good. Maybe they were just lucky, but they came out and they didn't come out where the Caltrops are. But good for you for trying that. I don't blame you. If they retreat together, that will be different. Okay, so that is the end of my turn because I'm not worried about Columbinius. It is Greco now.
So Greco has seen these, at least the skeletons, hitting twice and doing very well, disabling Greg, hurting Takata. And now suddenly 2 human kind of creepy characters have come out, right?
Yeah, they don't look much like Ron, the creepy spellcaster from way back in the arena, the slave market arena fight, but they do look creepy. They look, you wouldn't want your sister to go out with one of them, would you?
Well, they probably look a little bit better to shoot piercing arrows at than skeletons in plate armor.
True.
And so Greco will take a shot at this one that is on the I guess the top one up here. He's gonna shoot a
So what type of shot are you taking at him?
just a normal shot, and that's a 23. And he's gonna make this one also a bursting arrow too. And so
23 is good enough to hit, incidentally.
Yeah, and
Bursting
so that's
arrow.
a 9 piercing, and then the bursting would also be an extra 2d6. Let me roll that. It's an extra 6 points on both of them.
Well, again, they are vulnerable to your radiant damage. So one of them takes 21 points of damage.
Right.
One of them takes 21 and the other one takes 12. This is, in a way, a battle made for Gretel, isn't it? Because his bursting arrow is pretty potent against them. Does Gretel want to take any movement?
He will, and he's going to say to everybody else, he says, I'm out of my magic shot. And he's going to, you know what? So flanking does work here, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to move up and flank the one that is at Takada.
Yeah, so you're going to get +2 on rolls to hit with flanking, unless there's any special feature. So just like you can have class features, some of these enemies, some of these adversaries can have class features as well. Okay, so Grekel's taken his turn. Takata, do you want to know about the imp first?
Yeah, the imp should reemerge from the portal, and
Okay.
Takeda expects it to fill him in on what they saw.
So you move the imp to where you want to move to.
I'll move it more if need be. Takeda just wants to know what it saw first.
I'm going to show you on the screen. You saw a creature there, a humanoid creature that looks pretty ghastly, ghoulish, silver grey hair, skeletal face, but not just bone, clutching an already bloodied sword, wearing plate armor with it's like a devil's skull on the knees and on the shoulders. Second hand is a weapon in itself, and it's got quiver of arrows with red feathers on the back. It looks very severe and stern, and the imp knows that for all its invisibility, this creature has seen it. The imp also knows that the creature that I've just put on the screen for you, that I'm going to move off now because it's still in behind that portal, it's not in the room with you, it has directed these other creatures out of the portal. There is nothing else left with the creature in the portal now. The imp saw the last two creepy, dark, priestly figures come out. So this being, whoever, whatever it is in just a small pocket dimension. I will tell you that the spell essentially is the demi-plane spell, which is a very high level spell, and it has arrived here with its demi-plane, and it has unleashed first 4 shadows, then 4 big skeletons, and then 2 dark, in every sense, priestly figures, and it hasn't come out itself yet. And it was in magical darkness that the imp could see through, and it clearly could see invisible things itself. So that's what that is what the beaten up Hulk Takata knows.
Okay, the imp moves the rest of its movement up to here. And Takeda will, he will pull out his scythe and slash at this skeleton in front of him.
Take the scythe out, and you're going to attack it with the scythe. That's what you said, to my knowledge. Right then, I was slow on the uptake because there was a lot for me to be. I try and imagine these scenes as best I can. I got locked into all the detail that was happening, not least Epo working with this one skeleton, one of the Thunder Bros, taking gold plate off the wall. Roll to hit that skeleton. 9, you miss with the side.
11, but I assume that misses too.
Yeah, 11 misses him. I guess you're not going to take any movement and give an opportunity attack, are you?
No, he stays there.
All right then. Epo's turn.
Epo's going to move around quickly, do some minor repairs on Greg, and heal him 17.
All right.
Greg's back up.
So Greg is going to use so finish Epo first, and then we'll go to Greg.
Epo's just going to go back to where he was. He can't move out without taking an attack of opportunity, and he does not want to take that attack of opportunity.
No, fair enough.
He's just going to try collect all the gold dust he can. Try.
All right, then. So the skeleton near him is in the process of pulling its halberd out of the wall. Greg's turn. Greg uses half his movement to get up.
To be honest, I'm
He's
kind of
no-
fucked here
he's-
because none of my characters do any magical damage, and Epo doesn't have that many spells.
That is hard work at early days when you don't do any magical damage, I know. So that's
Normally, it's just resistant, but you said these guys have immunity, right?
Yeah, they are pretty potent. I'm taking the yellow dot off that skeleton in front of Greg because it's no longer grappled by Greg. Greg went down temporarily. So Greg gets back up with half his movement. What's he going to do?
Greg's command was to protect Epo, so Greg's going to disengage and just... Could he try and body block this skeleton? Or no?
All right, so you've come over there. You can't attack it because you've disengaged, but you're there. You can't even hold an action, but you're there. Greg is there by his master. Is his master pilfers gold from the Temple of Erathis? Greg loyally what crime being
Could I try and get
perpetrated?
Greg in between the skeleton and the Epo? Like, try and barge him out of the way somehow?
Well, there's kind of an extra action in a sense. I don't know that the game allows that as a mechanic, not that I can think of, but realistically, I'm going to give you a roll. So you can make an athletics roll. It's a bit like something having a charge if it's got 10 foot of movement.
22.
22 is really good. So I'm going to, it's not just a question of beating the skeleton's strength save. I'm setting a DC for the skeleton. Against the 22, I'm setting a DC of 15. So this is now a strength save from that skeleton. Skeleton rolls 17, so Greg doesn't shift it.
Did he at least get in between them?
No, the skeleton blocked that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you did really well, and I set a DC, and the skeleton saved from letting that happen. Marzal, don't worry about because he's down below. The alarm is still going off, and you can hear, as well as the alarm now, you can hear hammering on the doors behind. You know, maybe that portal is stopping much happening. Silver's turn, Raymond. Silver and Blizzard. Blizzard is just looking pretty.
Blizzard's was on my shoulder the whole time. Just so yeah, me and him are occupying the same space. But Silver seeing everything going on, saw that Greg went down, and the other two figures came out. He's gonna yell out, "Everybody, retreat! Going to the other portal! We gotta get out of here before they take us down." So I don't want to die yet, that's for sure. And then using disengage and just running closer to the portal and waiting for everybody else, with a Blizzard on his shoulder still.
Okay, so you're going to go right up to that portal. Okay, now it's the other side. The creepy cleric drift forward. They don't float like those shadows, but they move in a way that makes it almost look as though they're walking on a cushion of air. They sort of glide. They move towards Silver, both of them.
Ah, fuck. So I said retreat.
Okay, the skeleton that is now behind them advances and interposes itself between the skeleton pulling the halberd out of the wall and Epo. The other skeleton, the other one of the Thunder Bros, moves forward and flanks Greg and promptly takes a swing at Greg.
That misses.
Not rolling at advantage for them because I should have done and I didn't. The second is a 21 and it'll done 9 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Greg had enough put back into him by Epo that he doesn't go down. Skeleton over here pulls his halberd out of the wall. He decides to take a crack at Greg as well.
Pulling it out would be an action. What was embedded in.
Yep, he's going to pull it out as an action, and he takes an action surge. And he misses.
Yep.
And his second one.
Is this Epo or Greg?
This is at Greg. Second one is 14.
Misses.
Also misses. So he screws it up complete. Next thing that happens is that the blue portal disappears. And in its place, by the doors, appears a barrier no less magical than the portal itself. And you can see a rainbow of colours in this barrier. And so it is now Greckle.
So Greckle heard Silver.
Actually, I just apologise. Did I do this one with the green dot on? I think I didn't. I think I've
He
got
did.
one.
He did not attack at me. Did he attack Yusul?
No, I don't think he took an action.
Let's just
Okay.
assume he did.
Right. This. Thank you for the whimper. Okay. Okay. Because you did such a good voice there, Raymond, I'm going to let you roll a d20 for me
Why me? They're gonna blame me.
because I don't want to get blamed. 5. The skeleton disengages and it charges through the portal.
Uh-oh. I knew something bad was gonna happen if I did something.
And it is now Grekel's turn.
So Grekel gives a look at Takada, shrugs, kind of rushes past him. He's moving on the opposite side of the idol, but right at this point, he's heading towards the portal to follow that skeleton in, assuming everybody else is going to go. But halfway through this movement, he's going to take a normal longbow shot at this spellcaster creepy guy that came through the portal that he had shot previously.
Okay.
But this, unfortunately, is just going to be a normal longbow shot. That's a 22.
22 certainly hits. And these creatures, he has done some damage. So you've done it to the top one. Yeah. 8 points of piercing damage. What's the 2 on the other side?
That's a sneak attack, but in this case, he's not around any.
Right, well, this one has taken a small amount of damage. It doesn't look as though it's enough to phase it, but it has taken a small amount of damage. Anything else from Grekel?
Grekel is going to continue his movement and go through the portal.
Right then, okay. So Silver was holding an action. Is he still? I think. All right. Then you were waiting to watch. I think. Takata and the imp.
Okay, Takada will move 15 feet up beside the portal and will. Here, I'm gonna roll for something. Okay. He will cast Hypnotic Pattern and try to. It's a 30-foot cube, and if he can, he'll try to get as many enemies as he can without getting any allies.
So you can't do anything to stop your allies. Do you want to miss out Silver and Epo?
Yeah.
I think the best you can do is the 2 creepy clerics and one of the skeletons.
Yeah.
Agreed? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your save for what's the DC?
A wisdom 14.
So the 2 clerics, top and bottom, going first, and 1, 2. Those are the 2 creepy clerics. One of them has made it, and one of them has failed. So tell us what's happened to the one that's failed.
The creepy cleric goes slack as they seem out of it. Not there, yet their eyes are still somehow focused on something. A swirling pattern only they can see.
Thank you. Well, he looks bemused. Skeleton rolls a 10. Ignore the advantage roll, disadvantage. I'll take the left-hand one as ever. He fails as well. So that one of the Thunder Bros he doesn't have any condition immunity or anything like that. He is slack-jawed. The ones you can see are green have been affected by that hypnotic pattern. Now, with a hypnotic pattern, it doesn't take much to release them, does it?
No.
So
And
do you want?
If the affected creature takes any damage, or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got one of these dark priestly types in the middle of 2 allies affected by hypnotic pattern. Not going to take very long or be very hard for him to kind of free them from their hypnosis. Is
the skeleton in the hypnotic pattern?
Yeah, so one of the skeletons to the top of the Greg token with the green dot on it, has been hypnotized at the moment. Is Takata going to stay on the edge of Marzal's portal, or is he like Grekel going through?
The imp dives in before him, and I assume he can't see through his imp senses again.
What he sees is he sees Grekel, he sees Marzal, he sees Columbinius in a small chamber with a strange crate box in the middle. It's a room supported by half a dozen columns, and there's a strange white figure in the box. And as the imp goes through, the blue portal appears in this room below. That's what he sees. That's what's happened currently. So he's gone through.
Like the same blue portal is now in the other.
Yep.
Other.
That blue portal has now appeared, or if it's a duplicate, but it might as well be the same. Whether it's the same or a duplicate, it has now appeared in this room that Marzal is in.
Okay. Takeda hesitates, then debates over some things and dives into the portal himself.
All right then, fantastic. Epo and Greg.
Epo chucks a smoke bomb and 20-foot radius centered on that square there. Everything's heavily obscured with smoke.
Okay.
So you have disadvantage against attacks. Epo is going to collect his things and then jump on the back of Greg.
So
this
he's
guy
taken his action. He's jumped on the back of.
guy would get a attack of opportunity against Epo. The one with the ping.
He's in the smoke, so he's going to be attacking at disadvantage. Yep.
Yep.
Good tactic. Epo knows a thing or two, doesn't he? All right then. So he takes his attack of opportunity. That's a 12, which is going to miss.
Yep, that's going to miss.
Yeah, Epo's pretty
Thanks.
lucky. What's Greg going to do?
Greg is going to disengage from this guy, and they're going to go off.
Oh, they've gone through as well. Okay, I still skip by Marzal, and now I'm on to Silver.
Silver's going to take, with Blizzard still on his shoulder, take one step closer and use his last second level spell.
Just like to remind you, like all three of the skeletons are covered in smoke, and one of the priests is.
So they won't see. So never mind. He's going to look back and go, can't catch us now, and dives in with Blizzard on his shoulder.
Okay, so you dive in. Okay, so
At the other side, I immediately say close the portal, like as Silver comes through.
Yeah, and Silver is yelling out as well, close the dang portal!
Okay, so you yell that out to Marzal. It's not Marzal's turn at the moment after Silver. So Silver's finished his turn by going through with Blizzard, and it is the other side's turn.
Wait, one last thing. I'm gonna go, close the dang portal! Blizzard here is going to defend it while he can. And Blizzard's going to jump off my shoulder and go through the portal. And when he does, bonus action, he's going to shapeshift into a brown bear.
So you have got just one skeleton through there with you at the moment. Is that all? And that is all. It's not Marzal's turn, but Marzal has been holding an act. And Marzal closes the portal and prevent anything above coming through. So I'm going to say
Blizzard.
Cut, and we're going to go to another screen to see what's happening below.
So they did actually go through the portal. I wonder if that's the end of our party. Goodbye, Gretel. Goodbye, Silver. See you later, Takeda and Epo. Don't forget Greg and Blizzard. Anyway, this was another episode of 9 Lives, Death and Glory, podcast from New Zealand with players from Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, and Queensland. And before too long, I think we're going to have someone from another part of the world. Anyway, see you next episode, and thanks for listening, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers.